Hey everyone, Andrew from FindYourFuels.com back again to be of help to you today. And today we're going to be talking about handicapped by talent. And this actually came because I was recently presenting to a college group that deals with students who have actual disabilities. And of course this presentation today especially is by no means to be disrespectful of people who are dealing with actual physical and mental struggles. It's meant purely to be allegorical so that we can all understand some of the limitations that we all face on top of whatever else we're already facing. And that's the different handicaps that talent brings. First off, talent is blind. You don't know what you're good at because you're the one doing it. It's the same thing like if you don't have a mirror, you don't know what you really look like because you're the one looking. Everything you see is in front of you. You don't realize what's behind that vision. Same thing with talent. Many times talent, especially refined talent, is pretty much as natural as breathing, or at least that's the experience of the person. When I talk about continuous improvement, no one has to push me to get there. And before I had language for it, I couldn't really even articulate it. Talent is blind. Talent is also deaf, especially when you're not using words that it's familiar with. It just does not translate. When I was going through school, I thought I had school figured out, that I'm there to learn something and prove that I know it. So with that mindset, because I have a talent for interpretation and understanding why things happen, I really just focused on understanding and test taking. My homework was abysmal because I'm also efficiency, which means if I've proved to you, at least in my adolescent mind, if I've proved to you in the first 3 questions that I know how to do this, why are you punishing me with the other 147 questions? It just did not compute. You could say, well, Andrew, you need these grades later on in life, which might be true. You say, well, Andrew, the world is full of difficult things, and we have to showcase that even if you're not drawn to an area, you're going to work hard. That might be true. I'm not hearing it, not because I'm being rebellious, and this is important for us as coaches and teachers to realize many times our students are not being rebellious, they just can't hear it. Now, if you would have told me, as someone who enjoys coaching, that if you can get your grades up, even if it was a simple carrot and stick kind of situation, if you can get your grades up, we will allow you to tutor others. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, I wasn't interested at all in understanding more of things that I already understand. But if I can watch you teach and think of it as a room and just observing as coach to coach and say, okay, that's an interesting teaching style. That's an interesting way of presenting that information. I think I'll use a little bit of that and a little bit of mine when I do my own tutoring. You would have had me hook, line, and sinker, because now it would have been my own language, because talent is deaf. Talent, unfortunately, also has communication issues, almost a stutter. Because if you don't have a language for it, and you're already blind to it, to try to express that, to say, Andrew, what makes it so easy for you to get up on stage like in high school and be a part of these performances in front of thousands of people? I like it. I like doing that. It's fun. Until I had a more robust vocabulary to say that I love taking people from here to there. I love the avenue of theater because you have to use many different vehicles to communicate. Through expression, through costume, through body posturing, through volume, through pitch, through tone, through timing. That helps it speak a little bit more, but unless you've gone through something like a fuels assessment to better understand what is causing that talent in its own particular fashion, the more you say, I just kind of like it, not only do you seem silly, but the talent kind of dies with you. And even if people don't fully share in what makes you you, if they don't come at it from your angle, you can at least take apart the pieces and understand it in ways that will matter to, instead of one person who has all 5 of your top 5 talents, maybe you might reach 5 different people who each share one of those, and they can understand it. Talent, unfortunately, aside from its speech impediment, is kind of loud, especially when you're me. Now, I'm kind of specialized in one main area, and that's sales and leadership, so I naturally kind of stand out. Not aside to have that renown, standing out is also something that I really like to do. I don't just walk into a room, I enter it. No matter how much I try to not, even especially if I'm at a presentation and I'm just trying to attend and learn, it's very difficult. I have to force myself not to, speak up, to volunteer, to answer questions, to, especially in the networking before and after, to not distract from the night, because talent, my talent is in that area of first impressions and leaving people wanting more, of taking them from here to here and wanting to continue the conversation. That's where I'm talented. So in social situations where the desire is to make an impression, it's hard not to know when Andrew's in the room, but we all have that for our specific areas of talent, that when you're doing it, it's hard not to notice. And the last thing that talent kind of brings a challenge with is that talent is not self-sufficient. It needs others. Unless you are among the 10% of people that we assess that have a relative broad base of talent, they have their own issues that they have to deal with to bring their talent to market. But still, 90% of the people are preferred in one direction over the other. We're all very specialized in what we do. But in this last handicap actually lies the answer. Because if we go back through that talent is blind, deaf, stutters, and is loud, and can't stand on its own, and we start to work on our professionalism to make use of those things, if we can see our talents, if we can hear the language of other talents, if we can more clearly articulate what our own talents are, and if we can tone ourselves down, we are actually needed by others. Because that is what I believe the world is really looking for and what we all can be a part of. That when we understand the challenges that even our brilliance can bring and put it in a system that actually looks to help other people, those things that handicap you when you're just kind of being you now become your greatest asset. Not just for the service that you can provide, but kind of an added bonus to showcase to the world around you that it is possible to be talented and to be useful, to be great and to be good. These are the things that we really need to work on. So I hope you've enjoyed this fresh look and perspective at talents. Hopefully you can find your own ways to turn that blindness into sight, to turn that deafness into hearing, to turn that stuttering into clear speech, and to tone down that volume when it comes to your own talents. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Subscribe and share as always. We very much appreciate that. And we'll see you again soon to be of more help. Thanks. Bye.